Yo, what's going on guys? It's your boy Levitius and welcome back to a brand new video. As you can see, we're covering round 3 of the GTWS Manufacturers Cup at Deep Forest Raceway in the BMW M6 as per usual. And at the moment during the season, we're looking quite strong. We had 2 solid results in the first 2 rounds. And now we're looking to get another banker round in to solidify our position in the BMW standings and overall in the actual regional standings. And the BMW at this track was quite strong on the soft and medium tires with the quite high tire wear of 5 times tire wear, which meant trying to get the most performance out of each set of tire was really important. And it wasn't necessarily down to driving the soft tires to the maximum it can go until tire wear fell off the cliff. And it's more about actually getting the most out of both mediums and soft tires in terms of performance. And as you can see, our qualifying lap so far has been actually quite solid. We hit almost a PB sector 1 of a 23.8. Our PB was, I think, at a high 7. And our sector 2 is looking quite good. We're going currently purple right now with almost a 10th up on the fastest lap of a 0.1. So at the moment, this qualifying is looking good. And as we go into turn 14, the most tricky corner of the track for the BMW, as it just struggles to turn. And we get a very good run through there. We get a great exit. As we travel now down towards the start-finish line, we're aiming for at least getting a top 5, top 6 positioning because the BMW is really strong in the race. It just struggles a little bit in the qualifying against some of the MR cars. As we cross the line, we get a 25.0, which is a solid qualifying, which is going to put us in P5. We've got a Porsche in front of us, and we've got a Supra. Both cars that are fast in different aspects. Mitsubishi, I have no clue. So yeah, the Supra's going to be tough to get past as well. It sucks in the corners. 25.066, solid lap. Just ahead of my BMW teammate. And now as we get to the start of the race, we are aiming just to settle into the race. The tires are going to be really cold at the start. As we've been sitting on the grid for about a minute and a half. And as we exit turn 1, we almost lose the rear and spin out immediately. Yeah, cold mediums were horrible at the start of the race. It took about 2, maybe even 3 laps to get the tires up to temperature because the BMW was just so kind on its tires that it actually worked against itself compared to like the Supra ahead. And as we fast forward now onto lap 2, we're looking to go for a move on Neon Scorpion up ahead in the Toyota, but we think otherwise because I think at the moment we just want to work together to stay in the slipstream of the drivers up ahead at the moment because this combo is all about trying to minimize time loss and like work together. And we're looking to try and get through a move with this Toyota starting to struggle in the tight corners. And as you can hear, yeah, I want to get past now. Lap 3, we can see the lead is starting to pull away slightly, so it's now imperative to try and get past Neon Scorpion. But the race is looking quite strong. Our pace is looking good and consistent. And as we pull out the slipstream, you can see the Supra's just got so much more straight line speed than the BMW as we have to do a bit of a lunge, but Neon Scorpion does let us through. And now we're up to P4, and the race is looking quite strong right now because we've got 2 MR cars up ahead, which are quite hard on its tires compared to the Lexus and the BMW. So at the moment, this is looking very good for us. We did miss the apex at a little bit of turn 3, but overall, it's looking pretty solid. And as you can see, Deck made a little mistake, and Time Killer goes up into P2, which is amazing for us as it allows us to close up the gap to Deck in front. And it's important to try and keep that Porsche behind going into the soft tire stint because we're going to get an undercut naturally on the Porsche, which is a little hard on its rear tires. And as you can see now, going onto the back straight, Deck goes a little wider than you should, and he's going to pick up a half a second penalty. That's good for us. Come on. And now as we fast forward onto the beginning of lap 5, you can see Deck and Time Killer are still fighting quite hard for P2 in the race. And at this moment, I'm just trying to hang in there, not to really pressure them too much. I don't want to lose too much time. I don't want to battle with them. And the race is looking quite strong right now. We will be undercutting Deck up ahead, and most likely Macca as well because our tire weight is quite low. And unfortunately, sometimes things just don't go your way in racing. And as we exit going into the tunnel... No! I just threw away such a good race. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so shocked. My wheels moved. Oh no, that's why I spun. Guys, my rig... My wheel's moving like it did on... Look! It's going up and down, bro. No! Bro! And unfortunately, the track racer gods were not on our side this day, and our wheel base plate shifted in the middle of the corner, which meant we didn't have a good feeling of the rear end of the BMW, which is always on a limit in the slow speed corners, and we ultimately spun. But we have 2 more slots to get a solid result, and we will move into slot 2 with a clear mind. As we head into the next slots qualifying, we get a solid bank over 25.3, but it's still not going to be enough to have a very competitive starting position. And our turn 1 is pretty solid. We hook up the apex, and we do get on the throttle almost as early as we possibly can, probably a fraction later than we should have, but we still carry a good enough speed up the hill. We hook up the apex to turn 3 and 4 quite well, and then turn 5. And it's been a solid sector 1. We are about a 10th off, but our sector 1 in our banker lap was insane. But we did make a couple of mistakes in sector 2 and 3 of our banker. So at this moment, we did just need to get a solid lap in. Get a good turn 9 and then a good turn 10 going onto the back straight. And then just hook up the hairpin going down to the start finish line. And we get a great exit onto the back straight. And as you can hear, it's a good lap so far. But I don't want to make any mistakes still going into that infamous hairpin, which is, like I said earlier, pretty tricky in the BMW, as it's quite difficult to get the rotation. As we pass Dino, who's aborted his lap unfortunately, and we hook up the apex, just get on the power as early as possible, stay within track limits.
The best of a dodgy situation.
And it's been a very solid lap.
P5. Main 1. Clutch, Liam. Clutch, 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 clutch. Come on, baby. Clutch.
And as we head into our second race of the evening, I just want to remind everyone that the gaps from P2 to P10 was less than a tenth of a second. So those minute details did pay off, and we actually could have even qualified in P2. The Corvette, unfortunately, was a little bit faster in qualifying, but with that suboptimal sector 1, we could have actually been in P2 here and almost fighting for pole position. But we're in a solid position nonetheless. We've got a very interesting selection of cars in front of us. We've got the Corvette, the Audi, the Nissan GTR, which is a very interesting choice that has been going under the radar this season. And then the Porsche 911 behind, which I'll mention in just a moment, going into the next lap. As we head into the hairpin at the end of lap 1, the Porsche almost hits us from behind, and he gets an amazing run out of turn 14 going towards the start finish straight. As you can hear, I'm just trying to hope you can just work with me and give me a little bump shaft so we can stay with the top 3. And as you can see, the Corvette's absolutely bolting away into distance with these softer compound tires, and the Porsche is going for a move into turn 1. And at this moment, I don't want to lose too much time, but I want to hold on to this position. We do get space going in, and he unfortunately hits us wide and gains the position.
Points are taken away if you stick with that, okay?
And I was hoping that he would actually give the position back and then re-overtake me in a clean manner. But unfortunately, as we fast forward to lap 4, he never did that. And the racing gods were just not on our side today. As we head into turn 14, Key and Atomics behind are going to get into a little incident, and I'm going to be collected in it. Fortunately, though, we don't get any damage, to my astonishment. And we're still in this race. We only lost about 1.5 seconds of time, which is an absolute miracle in itself, as my reaction is absolutely priceless. And we keep going.
Okay, lock in. Lock back in. Come on.
And as we fast forward to the end of lap 7, we're going to be looking to make our pit stop onto the softer compound of tire.
Yeah. In.
A couple of drivers are already boxed onto their soft tires a lap before, and we're looking to do a little bit of an overcut on them and then a mini undercut on the drivers up ahead.
Undercut on them as well. There he is. Okay, he's coming out into the straight now. Okay, let's do this, baby.
And as we exit the pits, it's important to make sure we get out ahead of the drivers behind. And as we enter turn 1, we are just ahead of my good friend F1 Slayers, as Ed McLaren behind was not the best car for this racetrack, but he's doing an absolutely sensational job. And as we fast forward to lap 9, as you can see, the Porsche and Prima Doctor comes out ahead of us, about 2.3 seconds ahead, so we gained about 3-4 tenths with the undercut alone. And now it's all about qualifying lap after qualifying lap and trying to undercut as many drivers in front, which is going to be very difficult with the time loss we had in the key and atomics incident, but we're in this race, which is a miracle in itself. And every corner we're trying to maximize. Going out of turn 6 and 7, we get a pretty good exit, and so far this lap has been very fast. As we head into turn 9 and then turn 10, we are gaining on Prima Doctor up ahead, and it's a testament to how amazing this BMW is on its tires that you can go so much longer than the other cars. And as we fast forward now to end of lap 10, you need to keep your eyes on the pit exit, as it's going to be extremely close between the Audi and myself entering turn 1 as we go around the outside of the Audi and we get a great run, but unfortunately the Audi is just going to hang on.
Damn.
And this is not good for our race at all, because that Audi is going to be absolutely terrible in some of the corners, and it's also going to have terrible tire wear. The BMW can go 4 or 5 laps longer than the Audi. So this is an absolutely monumental blunder for our race to try and get at least a top 3. And it's almost going to be impossible to get past him, because now he's got fresher tires and he's got better traction out of the slow speed corners. It's basically going to be all about just hanging in there and hoping for a mistake or waiting for his tires to explode. And which is also going to be putting us under a lot of pressure from the drivers behind in F1 Slayers and the other drivers of the Aston Martin and the Toyota Supra. And as we enter turn 14, I just want you to pay attention to the gap before and the gap after this corner. So as we enter the corner, it's about 0.2 of a second. We get a great entry, a great exit, but unfortunately, the Audi just drives away, completely drives away. It's now, the gap is now 4.5 tenths. He gained 2 tenths in one corner, and that is my issue. I won't be able to make an overtake, even though I'm probably just as fast or even faster than him. It's going to be almost impossible to make a move at the points of the track where it's important. And as we enter turn 1 now, we're just behind the Audi. We carry a lot of speed in, brake it quite a lot later than the Audi, and you're going to see him just drive away again on the exit. So as we fast forward now all the way to the end of lap 18, I've had no opportunity to make any inroads on the Audi. He's actually pulled away a little bit because I actually decided to stay a little bit further back, because I knew F1 Slayer's behind. Even though he was this close to me, he could not make a move on me for the opposite reason of the Audi. The McLaren was terrible out of the slow speed corners. It had bad acceleration, so I was quite safe even with him being only 4 or 5 tenths behind me. And as we enter the turn 1, you're going to see Slayers go for a little bit of a lunge, but he just can't do anything about it. His car is completely the antithesis of the Audi, where it's amazing in all the corners, but it sucks on the acceleration. And as we enter the last 2 laps of the race, we're just trying to hang in there. I'm praying at this moment that the Audi's tires will fall off a cliff, because the Audi's tire wear is quite aggressive. It seems like it could last longer than it should last longer, but it unfortunately doesn't, which is what one of the big downsides of that Audi is. It's got amazing pace, it's got amazing acceleration, but its tire wear is quite shocking. And as we enter turn 10 right now, we're looking to have any opportunity at getting closer to the Audi going into the last lap. And so far, the signs are not looking so good. Our tire wear is amazing. We managed to stay within about 1.5 seconds of the Audi, but I don't want to be within 1 second. I don't want to burn my tires out too much. And that was my main goal, is to try and stay within about 2 seconds, so we get into the final few laps, we can just attack. And our plan at the moment doesn't look like it was working, but the eagle-eye viewers would have noticed
Come on, anything could happen here.
that Audi was wiggling a little bit going out of turn 14 and into turn 1. You're going to notice this now. The Audi's going to lose the rear going into turn 1, and this is sending green flags to my mind right now. They're trying to push as hard as possible and put him, the Audi, under as much pressure as possible to get past him. As you can see, he's being very ginger over the curbs, avoiding using all the curbs, and we've just gained around about 0.6 of a second in about half a lap. So the P3 is on, the podium is on right now as we exit going into turn 8 and then turn 9 and 10. We could possibly get a podium here. We're following quite close in the dirt here, but we're doing a good job. And as we enter turn 10, we get a great entry, and unfortunately we get on the throttle too soon. We almost completely bin it on the final lap, which was very sketchy in the moment, but we still stuck it on the track and we stayed within about 0.6 of the Audi. And by this point I knew it's game over. The Audi just needs to do a very careful turn 14 and he can just bring it home quite safe and sound.
I choked the P3. Well, Prima Doctor, you just lost your points because you got past me in a very illegal way, so. GG's, well done. Good job on the Audi. You just lost your points. I'm gonna report it. I'm reporting it. I'm reporting it. I'm gonna tell him right now I'm reporting it. He hit by me completely. He didn't even like tap me slightly. Yeah. Unfortunately, outside top 3, we were just too cautious at the end. And then we made that mistake. How many points do we get? 346. It's okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was round 3 of the GTWS Manufacturers Cup. We've got 3 solid results now. 377 points, 329 points, and 346 points. And as we now look at the turn 1 incident again, I did in fact report Prima Doctor because he did gain a position from substantial contact, and he could have just let me back through and then re-overtake me and everything would have been okay. But he stuck with it, and yeah, ladies and gents, that's just what has been set as the precedent. And I just want to say thank you for the love and support, thank you for all the channel members, and don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in a brand new video or live stream sometime soon. Peace.